Good morning, card community. It's RJ back with another video, so let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Little backstory on this one. I'm a guy who does not like Topps Heritage Baseball. A lot of people love it. It's a big release when it comes out. The quality of the cards is fantastic. The player selection is pretty immense, pretty complete. Um, they have a couple minor inserts or subsets, I should say. Lots of inserts, of course, but minor subsets within the base product. One of the things I don't like, though, is that the in both the first and second series, the higher numbered cards are short printed. So if you want a full set, it's difficult to get a full set because cards 4 through 500 are typically you get like one or two per pack if you're lucky, or one or two per box if you're lucky, actually. So finding those other cards to complete your set is difficult. Now, they were not the first ones to do that. A lot of other companies have done that over the years, and that leads me to this guy from 2004, Upper Deck SP Authentic. This is a card called the All-Star Moments. It is part of the base set. It is not an insert or subset. Or I guess technically it's a subset. Card number 150 of the base set, but it was short printed to 999 copies. There was a couple other subsets that were short printed in the base set, but again, if you wanted to complete a full set, these were short printed. And Upper Deck and some other companies did that often in the 2000s and still are doing it today, depending on the product. So I've never been a fan of short prints within a set. I don't think that's appropriate. If you want to do the image variations that Topps does now and call them short prints, that's fine, because at least I can get a full set of the base product. But these short prints within the base product really kind of tick me off. Just saying. This one man's opinion. Random baseball item of the day from 2022 Panini Prism. This is an insert set called Old School. Got Gary Carter here, Montreal Expos, Old School, wearing the old style baseball cap. One time I thought a lot of players and catchers especially had flipped over to the hockey mask style thing, where you had a full helmet kind of thing that was part of the mask. But I noticed still a lot of catchers still use the old style. I think it's because it's easier to rip off your head when you got to chase a fly ball or something. But uh, this one still has the brim on it. I remember distinctly. Sometimes I would see Bob Boone of the Phillies back in the '80s and '70s, and I always thought he had a hat, a baseball cap that didn't have a brim at all. It was just like a bowl shape that put on his head, and I thought that was pretty cool. But here's an old school Gary Carter, and Gary Carter certainly is old school, so love that little image right there. Um, today's trivia question. Okay, today's trivia question. Um, the 1916 Zeta baseball release famously has a card that they produced, which is widely regarded as the first time an African American player appeared within a card set. I'm not going to swear that that is the case. However, that is widely reported and widely recorded that this particular player was the first African American to appear on a baseball card for public release. So, my question to you is, who is that player? So, send me an email. What you're trying to get today is a Bobby Witt Jr. rookie card. Bobby is having a great season. I'm not sure what the price of his cards are skyrocketing up to, but this is from 2022 Topps. It's actually the update. He's number 100 out of the update set. 2022 update Bobby Witt Jr. rookie card. That's what you're playing for. If you can email me the correct answer, I'll include my email in the description below, along with a repeat of that question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer. We will pick order on Sunday, all right? So, today, what I want to show off, speaking of the Negro Leagues and African American players, it's widely believed and in a sense true that it's difficult to find Negro League cards. Uh, Several of the Hall of Famers who are from the Negro Leagues, it's difficult to find a card of them, but it's not possible. There are a lot of South American card releases that contain Negro League players, but there actually are more than you think releases. Not again, by no means it's anywhere near the scope of major league players or minor league players even, but there are, you know, a dozen or so releases of Negro League players over the years, and one of those that I just picked up was a postcard set from 1991 called the R.D. Retort Enterprises postcard set. I'm going to show you one card on that. Here's a team card, Cincinnati Tigers, 1937. On the back, there were 10,000 sets released. This is card set number 115. It tells you what was on the front cover there. Card number 100. This is series number 1, card number 100. And there are 100 cards in the total set. There are a couple of variations because of printing errors that they decided to fix. But I'm going to flip through the cards. I want to highlight all the players. I'll tell you a couple things when I see it, but obviously, because this is a 100 card set of Negro League players, most of these players are going to be people we have never heard of. It's just the facts, people, just the facts. Otha Bailey, Birmingham Black Barons, it looks like. If you look on the back, you'll see, gave the guy's name and a bio about his typical career and his position catcher. You know, Harry Mooch Barnes. This is actually a box set. I purchased it off the Bay, and it came in this little box right here. It didn't have the cover, which I would have enjoyed immensely, but you can see somebody wrote Series 1 on it. The printing is brown. Ink in this box kind of got brown, so I'm pretty sure this was the original box that the set came in. Harry Mooch Barnes. There are very few Hall of Famers in there, I believe. I mean, the bigger names, for whatever reason, maybe licensing had become a thing already, and they started licensing their names and images where they hadn't done that before, so people were making all kinds of unlicensed things. But he was on the Chattanooga Choo Choos catcher, 1946 to 47. Gene Benson. I'm not going to go through all of those. He was on the Philadelphia Stars. Bill Five Balls Beverly. There you go. Charlie Byatt, Charlie Byatt from the Baltimore Elite Giants. Bob the Rope Boyd, I love that name. I'm not sure if that's the Memphis Red Sox. Alan Lefty Bryant from the Monarchs. Marlon Pee Wee Carter. I did think that maybe I would see some star players that were eventually got in the Hall of Fame back in the 2006 vote who made it into this set, but I didn't even see that. Bill Reddy Cash, Jim Fireball Cohen. I do want to show off one thing on this when I get to it, a couple things. Elliot Jr. Coleman, and again, every one of these, it's a serial numbered set number 115 out of the 10,000 released. Johnny Cowan, Jimmy Crutchfield, Saul Davis, Lorenzo Piper Davis, Leon Day. There's a guy, he got into Hall of Fame in 1995, so he was included prior to his honoree as a Hall of Fame. Maybe that's why they included him here. Lou Dials, Malon Duckett, Felix Chin Evans. I'm not sure, did he ever pronounce Chin? I don't know, you tell me. Rudy Fernandez, Rodolfo, even some of the Hispanic players got pictured in this set. Joe Fillmore, George Giles, Louis C. Boy Gillis, Stanley Gillen, Willie Grace, Wiley Briggs, Buster Haywood, Albert Buster Haywood, Jimmy Lefty Hill. He is not a happy-looking individual there on the Newark Eagles. Cowan, Bubber Hyde, Monty Irvin, obviously a Hall of Famer. One of the things is that a lot of these things, Monty Irvin and Buck Leonard are featured prominently in this set. And there's a couple things I want to get to when I get to some of the later cards that were corrected in later issues. Sam the Jet Jethro, I've heard of him. Buckeyes. He's from the Cleveland Buckeyes. Clifford Connie Johnson. Josh Johnson. Casey Jones. Clinton Casey Jones. Larry Kimbrough. Clarence P. Joe King. Jim Lefty Lamarck. Here's Buck Leonard on the Homestead Grays uniform there. Max Manning, I've heard of him. Verdell Lefty Mathis. Nate McClintock. Clinton Butch McCord. Clyde McNeil. John Mules Miles. Now here's a famous picture of Buck O'Neill, John Buck O'Neill, coach at this time of the Monarchs. But doesn't have his career listing of his different things. Yeah, first base from the Monarchs for a long time. Coach, of course. John Buck O'Neill, generally considered, I believe, the first coach, African-American coach in the major leagues. He coached for the Cubs back in the 60s. Frank Wahoo Pearson. Art Superman Pennington. He kind of looks like he's got some muscular upper strength there. Nathaniel Nate Peoples. Andy Pullman Porter. When you have a name of Porter, you're going to get the nickname Pullman. Here you go, Ted Double Duty Radcliffe. Very famous player, but not in the Hall of Fame for some reason. Double Duty Radcliffe. Othello. Love that name, Othello. Chico Renfro. William Bobby Robinson, Tommy Sampson, Joe Scott, Joe Burton Scott. Those two are different individuals. Joe Scott, Joe Burt Scott, Herb Simpson, Lonnie Summers, Alfred Slick Surratt. If you look at this, though, this is a modern image. For some reason, they included him. He's old school there, wearing a throwback Kansas City Monarchs uniform. Or not Kansas, maybe Kansas City Monarchs. Yeah, Kansas City Monarchs outfield. But it's a modern picture of him. Probably taken in around 1991. Interesting that they did that for him and no other players show up that way. Bob Thurman. Quincy Troop. Edsel. Big Walker. And Apples Wilmore. Artie Wilson. Jim Zapp. And then there's a lot of, those are the primary player cards, but then they have game shots. And it's interesting here, take a look at this one. So they're all labeled who's in this picture. It's kind of cool. I'm not sure if this is Cool Papa Bell or some other Bell up here, but this is Buck Leonard trotting down to first base. Looks like he's out already. But it's a picture of the Homestead Grays versus the Philadelphia Stars in 1937. And on the bat, it says featuring Buck Leonard. There are a number of cards here where it specifically says featuring Buck Leonard or featuring Monty Irvin, as if Monty Irvin and Buck Leonard kind of granted authenticity to this set when it was released. I don't know anything about the release of this set, but this statement here, featuring Buck Leonard and featuring Monty Irvin on some other cards, is prominent on these later cards here. Now, what's interesting, I said before that I have set number 115, which is an earlier set, and that there are variations to these cards. In a lot of these cards where it says featuring Buck Leonard or Monty Irvin, some of the later variations have removed that. And I'm guessing it's because some of the other Negro Leaguers who were still alive got kind of ticked that those two individuals were being highlighted and called out every single time. Here's another one. Buck Leonard is strolling home. probably after a home run because he's taking his time there. Again, featuring Buck Leonard. Now here's a Homestead Grays lineup. This appears to have Josh Gibson in it right there, along with Buck Leonard. But again, on the back, oh, it doesn't say featuring. Okay, just, it gives you a list of who's there. That's all it says. Walter Buck Leonard. There's Buck Leonard swinging, featuring Buck Leonard. Action shot. Again, I don't think that's Buck Leonard in the picture, is it? Oh, I guess it is, featuring Walter Buck Leonard. That's probably Buck Leonard there. But again, every one of these things, there's Leonard stretching it, trying to stretch it into first, featuring Buck Leonard. And again, the later editions don't have that featuring stuff. There's the Newark Eagles pitching staff with Leon Day in there. What do we got here? Cleveland Buckeyes Championship infield. This probably has Buck Leonard in it, but don't quote me on that because it is the Homestead Grays. Nope. Luke Easter, he made it to the majors eventually. They had a guy named Tom Big Train Parker, interestingly. There's a lot of Murderer's Row of 1943 Pennington. The Chicago American Giants Murderer's Row. Pep Young, I've heard of. You know, WWE Alex Radcliffe. It's funny, Murderer's Row, and I've never heard of most of these players. I mean, I know they're Negro Leaguers, but you think you'd hear them. This is an interesting card when I pulled this one, so take a look at this. Remember, my set is number 115. This one is card set number 916, and I noticed this autograph, and it is an on-card autograph of this individual. I didn't realize that when I first saw it, and I looked back and later on. Indianapolis Clouds. That is a signed card by Jim Fireball Cohen. I have an autograph of an old Eagle Leaguer. Pretty darn cool. It's part of the set, though. I don't know if I'll try and get a new card and set that aside somewhere. Don't know, but here's your Eastern All-Stars from 37, featuring Buck Leonard and Ray Dandridge, actually. Ray Dandridge is in here somewhere. Don't know where. 1938, featuring Buck Leonard. 1939 All-Stars, featuring Buck Leonard. 1948 All-Stars, featuring Buck Leonard and Monty Irvin. Western All-Stars, not featuring anybody. This one's interesting. This, I believe, is Composey, one of the recent Hall of Fame inductees. He was an organizer or manager of Negro League Ball. He is in the Hall of Fame, I know. They don't have a big list out of who has everybody on this thing. Homestead Grays everywhere, featuring Buck Leonard. Love this one. This one I've seen. If you know your League history, you've seen this image a number of times. Everybody lined up in front of the bus, that kind of picture. And it's with a number of different teams have done this in the past. Picture taken in 1936 at Greenleaf Field, Pittsburgh. Kansas City Monarchs from 34. I could not find Satchel Paige in any picture I looked. I really took some time. There's one I thought might have been Satchel Paige. I'm not sure where it was, but I looked hard to find Satchel Paige in a picture. This might be Paige, but I'm not 100% certain of it. And we did see the one of Josh Gibson, so we know he made it into this set. Chicago American Giants. They got a lot of the team pictures now from a lot of different teams. Memphis Red Sox. These are all labeled, all the guys here. Memphis Red Sox again. Birmingham Black Barons. 1946. It's a little too early for any of the big name players. Like Willie Mays played for the Birmingham Black Barons briefly. But for 1946, he would have been a little too young to be on that team. Birmingham Black Barons from 48. Don't know if Willie Mays, I don't know if I'd be able to tell. Like if this is Willie Mays way back there. I don't know. There's no way I would be able to tell, but Willie Mays did play for the Birmingham Black Barons, and theoretically 48 would not have been too far back. Here's the 1950. Willie Mays should have been on this team because he was in the majors in 51. Unless he was already up in 50 like that. Is that? I don't think that's Willie Mays there, but interesting. The Harlem Globetrotters. You did not know there was a team called the Harlem Globetrotters, did you? But there they are. Cleveland Buckeyes. I love seeing the Philadelphia Stars, being from Philadelphia area. Philadelphia Stars, the Newark Eagles. You're going to have Buck Leonard and Leon Day in that one, I think. I don't know where Monty Irvin is. It says featuring Irvin, but I don't know where he is. Difficult for me to know. I think that's Monty Irvin, given some of the other pictures I've seen. That's Leon Day there, I believe. Don't hold me to that. The Baltimore Elite Giants. Indianapolis Clowns had Hank Aaron eventually, but this is 43, so that's too early for Hank to have been on there. And then the Cincinnati Tigers from 1937. So it is an awesome little pickup. I snagged a full box set of these postcards from 1991. And again, if you look on the back, 1991 RD Retort Enterprises. It's not a TCMA release, but it's some other no-name company that decided to put out a Negro League Legends. And I have several card sets of Negro Leaguers now. I mean, there's a Larry Fritsch card company put out a set back in the 80s. I got the one from 2000 celebrating the anniversary of the Negro Leagues. I got this one and a couple other small ones. So for people who think there weren't a lot of Negro League sets, it's true, there aren't a lot, but there's probably more than we think. So don't be shy about looking around for some Negro League sets to add to your collection, because they really are a great addition, a great part of the history of the game if you can get yourself a Negro League set. So that's all I have for you today. Hope you appreciated that. Hope you enjoyed it. Please consider liking, subscribing, commenting if you did. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card community. We will have the trivia recap on Sunday, so stop back for that. And then again, next week, we got more stuff, more videos, more trivia, more prizes, all right? Hope to see you then. Have a great week. Take care.